Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. As my lessons progress on through the ABRSM Grade 6 Music Theory Workbook, my lessons now move on to Question 1A, Exercise 7. In Exercise 7, Question 1A, we are required to allocate chords to a given melody, and here we are asked to allocate chords to a very familiar piece, the Jupiter from Holst's The Planets. When we are allocating chords to a given melody line, we are implying certain rules of harmony, and as I help you to work through this exercise, I show you how to look for progressions in a major key. The full lesson can be found on my Patreon channel. If you visit patreon.com/Sharon Bill, you'll find the full lesson there, and you can find links to this lesson in the cards and in the description box below. Sample examples of this lesson will follow on after this short video to show you how I help you to work through every single step of this exercise, just as if I was sitting right next to you. All of the information that you need to understand to complete this question can be found in my Harmony and Composition textbook. This is available from Amazon, and you can find the links to that in the cards and in the description box below. And everything that you need can be found on my website. If you visit www.sharonbill.com, you'll find everything you need right there. Enjoy your studies. Bye. Let's look at the overall structure of the piece. And we've got an anacrusis. We've got an upbeat of 2 quaver beats, 1 crotchet beat. And then here we're going to have a cadence point. And then we have an anacrusis, so that belongs to the next section, leading into the next section after the end of this first section. So there's our phrase structure, and then we're going to have a cadence point there as well. And so now perhaps we can begin. So here we have a G and a B flat, and it's a good idea to just establish the key straight away. I think that's just the only sensible choice. So that's the chord 1, and we'll keep that in root position so it's a nice strong opening. And now we have our cadence point. Now we could have a chord 1 here, however it's not the end. We don't want it to sound finished, so if we could have an interrupted cadence, that would be good. So let's see if we can have a 5 to 6 instead of a 5 to 1. So let's see what we've got here. So if we have a 5, that's the B, that would work perfectly. Oh, dear me. That's a B. So there's chord 5. That's a 3rd. That's an octave, B to B, so we need to make sure there's no octave here. And so a chord 6 would, in root position, would have a C in the bass. That's an octave, that's a 5th, so that's okay. So there we have an interrupted cadence, and that works really well because it's not the end. We don't want it to sound finished yet. If you put 5-1 there, it'll just sound like it's all over, and that's not the case because it starts again. Now then here, we've got to decide what do we do with the harmony notes here. Now this presents an interesting opportunity. And here, this note isn't really the harmony note, nor do I think this one. We could argue that this was a passing note, and then this was harmony note, passing note, harmony note. However, we have a marvellous opportunity here to show a suspension, because a suspension is always prepared, and we say it's prepared and then it sounds, or there's the percussion, preparation, percussion, resolution. However, we could even say that is, so we could say that's a suspension. We've got an opportunity to be like a little bit clever here with these notes if we choose to. We could suggest that was a passing note, and then this was the harmony note as well, which does actually kind of work. So we could say that that's a chord 4. here, 4 to 5 to 1. We'll just look at how that works in a moment. We could argue that this is the harmony note and that would work, and we could use that as the harmony note, and then that could just be a little lower auxiliary note going back to the harmony note. My preference is to go for this though. So you could harmonise the F, say for example with a chord 2 leading into the cadence. That would work, 2, 5, 1. If we used a chord 2, that would be an F, or we could use 2B. That would be an A in the bass. So it could be a suspension that resolves to a chord 2. 2B would be an A in the bass, and actually that A would be a chord 4 as well. So we could have a chord 2B or a chord 4 giving us the same note. Now just need to be careful here because that then gives us a 5th here, so we need to make sure that we don't get a 5th here. And so that would be a B flat D F. That does give us a 5th, doesn't it? A C E B D F. So we could have a 5B there, and so that would be a D. That would get rid of the consecutive 5th. So we have A C E, D to F is a 3rd, and then finally we get our perfect cadence 5 to 1. So we have 4, 5B1.